So, hi everyone, this is Sue from Createful Journals, and today I just wanted to do a quick call about PLR in general. I had a few people ask about, how to start with PLR, how to make changes, things like that. So we'll do just some general questions here, and just see where the call leads. If you want some examples, we can go through examples on Canva or PowerPoint. So to start off with, then, does anybody have any specific questions about using PLR in general?
No. It's early for me, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so just trying to think, what is there anything that you would like me to cover then? We don't have to talk about using PLR. We can talk about other business stuff. It doesn't really matter. I mean, depends what questions we have here. Okay, so I'm not sure what your your name is there. Your initials are BS. So you want to learn, you don't know anything about PR. Okay. Brenda. Okay, thank you so much, Brenda. That's better. Okay, so to start off with, so PLR is private label rights. And what that basically means is that the template or product that you're using comes with rights where you can edit it, you can rebrand it, add your own graphics, change it in any way you want, and then you're allowed to go and resell it to your customers. Now, you can't resell it as a PowerPoint template or a Canva template. You basically you make all your changes and then you turn it into a PDF file, and this is the file that you would sell or give to your customers. So that's one thing that you want to make sure. There is something called master resale rights. That's a little different, where you can actually change like the base templates. So it would be PowerPoint or Canva, and then you can make changes to it, and then you can resell it as a PowerPoint or Canva template. But the majority of my products in the store are just the PLR. I only have a couple with the master resale rights. So that's one difference that you want to make sure of. Now, the other thing with PLR is there is no one standard license. So you really have to read the person that you're buying from, their license, because each person may allow you to do different things. Like some people will give you what's called an extended PLR license, which is similar to master resale rights. It's usually, I've seen it more with graphics and clip art, and you can use those in your PLR products. So if you're creating a PLR store, the extended PLR rights is really useful when it comes to graphics and stuff. So you can make your planners and you can add their Valentine's clip art or background patterns and stuff like that into the product. So it helps you create your PLR product much quicker. So that's something you want to make sure of. And you always read the license. If you're not sure about the licenses, then I would just email the store owner to get clarification so that you don't do something wrong. For example, I had one person that took my PowerPoint templates and put them on Creative Fabrica, and somebody let me know, and I had to get them taken down because they weren't selling it correctly. And I've had it where people do it on purpose, and then this one particular person, she didn't realize it wasn't what she was allowed to do. So I just contacted her privately, and she took everything down. So there are some differences. So you really do have to make sure that you understand the licenses first. So that's the main thing. And then when it comes to changing PLR, it's you can do as much or as little as you want to change it. So for example, we could just change the fonts and the title. So say if it was just like a yearly planner and you loved all the layouts in it, you can just go in, change the cover page, maybe enough. It depends where you want to sell this. Now, if you're going to sell it on somewhere like Etsy, then that's supposed to be, handmade stuff. So you need to change it a little bit more. I mean, I've seen people that don't. and if they get away with it, it's fine, but they might find down the road, if somebody happens to notice that that same key pack in different people's store exactly the same, they're going to flag it and say this can't possibly be handmade because, or custom made type of thing, because more than one person is selling it. So you want to make sure that you make some changes to it depending on the platform that you're going to resell it on. So changing colors, changing the title page, just changing the title in general will help. Then you can change the fonts. You can change out the graphics. So you can go to, different photo places, or use, if you want to use some of the free stuff inside Canva, I know people do, or you can just go to like Pixabay or Pexels to go and get some different stock images. Or if you're using AI, you can create some different images based on, the product that you want to sell there. And then if you were going to resell on somewhere like Teachers Pay Teachers, again, you want to make sure the colors and the fonts are going to be different for a product on TPT as to Etsy, because they're two different markets. The Teachers Pay Teachers is obviously a lot of teachers are buying, a lot of homeschoolers. Even a lot of people like grandparents would go on there to look for games and activities to do when they've got the grandkids coming over for a holiday or to visit. So there you would want to use like more playful kid type of fonts, and then you want to use brighter colors, brighter patterns. So again, I would do some research on there depending on what we were going to sell, and then you can see what colors people are using, what fonts do they use. Are they using like the fonts that are all nicely colored in? Are they big and bright? Are they coloring fonts with just the outline, and then people can come in and the kids can go color the titles, they can color things on the page. So there's some things that you want to keep in mind when you are changing the PLR. So hopefully that helps. If you have any questions on that part, let me know.
How is your Teachers Pay Teachers store doing? Is that a good place?
It's picking up. So I mean, to do the Teachers Pay Teachers, like now I believe it's $29 to open the store, and then they have this option that is $59 a year. But what that allows you is like when you sell, you get a higher commission on it, so you actually make more money. So I opened my store before they started charging people to open. So for that fee, I mean, I covered my fee in about 4 months. So, and then that fee does renew every year, but you're earning more money, you get a higher percentage back. And what I like about the TBT, especially if you're doing, the kids stuff, it's only 4 listing images instead of like 10 for Etsy. And then what you do on TPT is you have a preview file, which is more like a landscape type file. And there it's like a sales page. So you show more of the product in the preview. So if people go through those thumbnails, they like what they see, they go to the preview, you're going to give them more. Like you'll look at, I try and include as many pages as I can so people can see it. And then you give them some features, how to use it. And then at the end, if I have a related product that goes with it, then on the last slide, I link to that, and then I just create like a flattened PDF. And then so the preview, if they like it in the preview, they could click on it and go to that product in the store as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to put more time. I'm trying to split the time between Etsy and TPT. So it just depends what you do, but it is picking up. So and again, I think it's one of those where it's just a numbers game, and you need to get followers. So when you get followers, what that means is every time I put in a new product, the next morning, the TBT, they send out a newsletter from the people that you follow, and they'll say, this person just launched this product is new. So it helps to get eyes on your new product. So the more you can regularly publish, then hopefully the more you're going to get, eyes. And the whole point is you try and do some, get followers. And when you first open the store, the first product has to be a free product. So it's a way to hopefully, you'll get the download, and hopefully enough of them will want to follow you so that, you get more exposure that way. So it has been working. It takes time, like anything, just to get everything going there.
Yeah, thank you. That's
Okay.
good to know.
Okay. Yeah, and what I've done lately is I'm trying to make some templates that I'm happy with, like for the thumbnail. So basically, all I have to do is change the title. If I want to change the colors a little bit, but I have basically the same layout on all, on each slide. So it's just duplicate it, change out the images, change the title, and it's done. So I can get those images done, in minutes instead of taking, like hours that it can sometimes take with Etsy for sure. And then the same as the preview. I've got a basic file, and then I just go in and change out the elements. I keep the same color in the background. It's just the actual images of that product. I just flip out quite easily and save it as a PDF, and then it's ready to upload. So it helps that it makes it go faster. And then I'm trying to do some kind of batching thing, because right now, like, I've been doing some write the rooms for TPT. So it's like going in and finding, I'm trying to find like 10 topics I can do, and then, try and create them all like quickly in succession, so I can load one up at least every day for the next 10 days. And then what's nice about the TPT is that you can make bundles. So you can do a bundle, so you could do a theme bundle, say like around winter, and put in a write the room, a bingo game, a I Spy game, write in paper, all about winter. Or you could make a bundle that is nothing but different, like write the room. So you could have a winter one, a summer one, spring one, counting write the rooms, and you could bundle them together. So that gives you more exposure. And then obviously as you bundle it, people buy it at a discount. So that's another nice feature that I like on the TPT that helps you, to sell your items on there. Okay. And then Etsy has, they added a new feature. I think it's something like bundle and save, and you can add up to 3 similar products, and it creates, and then you set your discount, so 25, 20%, whatever you want to put in there. And then that shows where people land on one of those products. It shows it in the side that if you buy this in this bundle, you're going to save some money. So I've done a few of those as I get the products that complement each other. So I'm going to see, how that sells too. So just something that, you're experimenting with to see what happens there.
Were you going to talk about the MailerLite product at all?
Yeah, I mean, I can. So the MailerLite was okay, because I have MailerLite and I was working through it, and then I saw Amy's course. So she's positioned that course to go, like, if you want to go into bundles, and you don't have a shopping cart, because the shopping cart is the biggest thing I find when you want to create a store. Which one do you use? Like, do you go with WooCommerce? Do you do Gumroad, PayHip, Lemon Squeezy? There's so many different options, and there's all these different fees. It's hard to know what to do. So with MailerLite, it allows you to sell products, and you do that by connecting a Stripe account. So obviously you have to be somewhere where you can have a Stripe account. I know some countries don't allow that yet. Let me see if I can. Yeah, because but basically you're just creating your landing page. So a little bit about the product, what you're going to sell, and you don't necessarily have to do it for a bundle. So we can do it just for a product, or if you're going to do like a giveaway, or even if we're selling like a $7 product. So you can create your page as a landing page, and then she walks you through connecting it to Stripe. And what I liked about Stripe was, because I already have a Stripe account for my Createful Journals account, so my MailerLite account is for my personal use items. So I was able to create another Stripe account just for that. So that's coming from that email. So, because I didn't want people that are buying from like my Printables Granny site to get emails and charges from Createful Journals, because it doesn't make sense. It's going to confuse them. So that was one that way I found that we could separate it, because I asked PayPal and they said there isn't really a way to separate two businesses in one account, and you can only have one business account is what they told me. So that's something that I liked about that. I mean, yes, it limits you to just paying with Stripe, but I find a lot of people use Stripe anyway. Like on my main site, I get a lot of payments come through Stripe. So hopefully, we'll see. I will test it and see how it goes. And then, so basically what you're doing is you're connecting it to MailerLite, but you're actually setting up the product in Stripe, because you can sell products and memberships from within Stripe. So you're setting it up in there, and then it's just connected to that form on MailerLite. So as people buy, they go to Stripe, they pay there, but then they're getting put onto your email list, and then you can direct them into sequences and all that stuff. And you can do it with she has a workaround, because I haven't got to that part yet, but there's one part that you're supposed to have a paid MailerLite account, but she shows a workaround for the free account. And what I like about the free account is we can get up to 1,000 subscribers before we have to start paying. So that's a good chunk of subscribers. Hopefully by the time you get that many, you're starting to make some money so that you can go ahead and pay for a paid one, and you've got the funds to cover it. So that kind of gives you the basic outline. Unless you want me to show you more on that, I'm happy to.
No, I'm considering what to set up. And so I think as an author page, the people I follow are like, MailerLite is good. It's it does what you need. So that sounds like that it's definitely worth the investment to, see how to do this, because I'm not considering it really at this point for bundles, but more just for having my own landing page of, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I thought when I saw it, because I know she positioned it to get into a bundle, but I'm thinking, the way you can come and do the different landing pages for each product. And then, even on your main website, you could have like a product page, which is just basically like if you did posts, you can just have that grid layout with your posts if you have a WordPress site, and then each one can link to that MailerLite, which will take them into Stripe to make the payment. It just eliminates the need of a shopping cart, because it said that could be confusing, and then that's a whole nother ball game to set up. And if you buy, if you start with WooCommerce, there's a lot of add-ons you need to buy. So again, you're spending money that you may not want to spend at this point until you get, a decent income coming in, for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Brenda, did you have anything else, like a different area that you wanted me to go through? Because I'm happy to walk you through stuff. I'm not sure if you're a PowerPoint person or a Canva person, or like I like PowerPoint for certain most of my templates, but I like Canva for doing like videos, social media, and even some of the mock-ups, because you can just drag and drop. And I like the one feature I do like about Canva is when you can change, when you want to change a color, like especially when you're making a copy and you want to change a color, it will change all the colors in the entire document. So we'll change everything from, black to pink if you wanted to at one shot, which in PowerPoint, you have to go through every slide and change all the colors. So yeah, so there's pros and cons to everything. Okay, so yes, you don't know too much about Canva. I didn't either. I would just suggest that, because Canva's free, so you could take one of the templates and just open up a free account and start playing with it. That's what I did, because honestly, I was very resistant to go into Canva for a long time, because I like my PowerPoint. I still like my PowerPoint, but people want to use Canva, and you can use the free version to get started, so you don't have to worry about any cost with that. And it's just playing with things, like duplicating the page, like whatever file you use, I would just say to make a copy. And then from there, you just start changing elements, you change colors, and you can change the fonts. And again, it will change all the fonts in one go for you, which is another nice feature. I mean, PowerPoint will change fonts, but it doesn't change like all the title fonts. It changes every font. So you still have to go back and change your title fonts back to the title fonts in PowerPoint. So Brenda, were you interested in learning like to sell PLR, or did you just want to, are you more into like a Teachers Pay Teacher store or Etsy store that, Yeah. I mean, Teachers Pay Teachers. I like the Teachers Pay Teachers. And again, it's going to cost you the $29 to start. And then once you get going, you can always upgrade to get that higher commission. So maybe at first, just pay for it. Okay, so you're a parapro and then elementary now. So okay, so that's a great background then. So that would help you. And like I said, you can just get the store ready, get the free product in there, get some products loaded. And I think I waited till I made like 2 sales, and I thought, okay, and then I did the upgrade. So you don't have to do it right up front when you join, but you do have to pay. I believe it's $29. I don't think they put it up anymore. But Etsy is now the same too. Their fee, depending on where you join from, is anywhere from $15 to $29 as well. So you have to pay to open up an Etsy store too. But the teachers, you're basically, you're more targeted towards teachers. There's a lot of, obviously, the kids stuff. Homeschools are good. So I mean, I like doing the stuff on there, and it is more kids stuff. It's always fun to make kids worksheets and other stuff there as well. So, and I like it too with the 4 product listings. It's so much easier to do. Okay, that's a good, so Brenda's asking, why would you want to sell a PLR that someone can change and they could sell? Doesn't that make selling yours harder? Okay, so most of the time, I don't actually put my PR products that you see on my site, I don't put them, very rarely do I put them on either Teachers Pay Teachers or Etsy as is. I make changes to them, so I'm not selling it. I mean, the whole concept about selling PLR is I create the template one time and I can sell it over and over and over again. So that's like the one, that's what drew me to PLR, because I used to actually do freelance writing, and you had clients, but I could only write so much in a day or in a week. So I was limited in my income, and I could only sell it once. I'm selling everything custom to one person. So it limited my income. And then when I found out about PLR, well, I can write articles and I can write reports, and I can sell one report 100 times. So it made it more, better for my time in selling the PLR. And then because I used to do articles and reports, and then once I found journals and planners, and especially being able to do them in PowerPoint, that's when I switched over to that. I mean, the thing with PLR too, yes, you're giving everybody else a starting template so they can take it, they can change it. And most people do, but there are some that don't. I've seen some of my products as is on Etsy, but as a PDF. I've seen it, and it's up to them how they want to sell it. But that's why I went to the PLR route. It does have challenges because you have to watch about the graphics, and because you have to make sure that the graphics can be you're not really reselling the graphics, but sometimes you are. So it all depends on how you position everything. So you have to be careful with the graphics. But now with AI, I find a lot of people are just creating their own graphics and their own clip art, stuff like that too. So I mean, that's kind of basically the difference. And then because PLR, you're selling business to business, and usually it can be easier to find other businesses to buy your products than trying to find that target customer. If you're just doing homeschool products, you have to find that homeschool market, and then you're going to So you have like a smaller market to market to, if that makes sense. Did you have any other questions? Did you want me to show you a little bit of Canva? Like I can just kind of show you some basics, just so that you can see. I don't know if you do have a Canva account yet or not. I can kind of show you inside a little bit. Okay, I'll switch over. Let me go find it. All right. Okay, so can you see the screen? Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, this is just basically something that I'm working on for Valentine's Day. It's just like a sign-up sheet, potluck sheet type of thing. So, so the basics would be, when you first, if you were to use a template, then, you come to file and you make a copy, and then you work on that copy. The one thing I can say about Canva is you want to start organizing your files in there, so that it doesn't just become a big jumbled mess. So if you're doing like a Valentine's Day thing, I would make a folder, and then you can put different folders under that with the different products that you're working on. So you want to kind of organize Canva, so that you can find things, because you come to this big home page when you open it up, and it can be hard sometimes to find what you're looking for. So just to give you an idea, so say this was a PLR image, for example, and then you wanted to change it. So you can either, well, one easy way to change it. So if we click on it, then you'll see at the top here, it says edit. This might go a little slow because of Zoom. And then you can see here, you've got some options on the side here. So you can come to filters if we click see all. And you can just like change the shades on here. So we could change it, and it would just, you can see it changed here a little bit. So that would be one way that you could just change up some PLR just by changing the colors of it. If you wanted to go with more browns, if you were doing, different kind of like maybe gingerbread cookies or something, you could go with that kind of color. So it changes the graphic. And this sometimes will vary depending on the graphic itself. Like some don't change colors as easily as some of the others. And then the other one that you can use is this two-tone one here. Sometimes this works quite nicely. So again, it gives you some different options here. We can just, and to duplicate, you just hit the plus sign. So let's just bring that down here for a minute. So now we could change this if we wanted to go with different colors. So again, we could make a whole set of these cookies just by using filters and this two-tone effect. And then we could just keep on duplicating it and then change the color. And what's nice in here is that it does have a custom one. So this just it'll take you to the black and white, and then you can come into the colors here and you can change it. Now, one thing on Teachers Pay Teachers is you'll see sometimes they'll have like a black silhouette and then you match it to the colored version. So to do that, you would just come in here and we're going to change. So you have the heart shape, and then you would have this cookie. Just start a plain page. Just bring that down here. Oops. So this is an activity I've seen on Teachers Pay Teachers. So, you know, do they have to match the color to the outlines? You would make the outlines, and then these would all be jumbled up on the page, and then they would have to draw a line from this one to the matching one. So that's how you can do that without having to think, how do I make the black and white, you know, or the black versions of this. You don't need Photoshop, Photopea, or anything. You can do it right inside of Canva. So that's one thing I find it very useful for as well. And yeah, so then you would change things here. These are just lines. And then again, you can group things, which is nice if you just use the Shift key and you highlight all these lines, and then it will come into a group. Right now, it says ungroup because I've already grouped it. But I like grouping things because if you want to duplicate it, or if you want to move something on the page, it's very easy to move. Or if I wanted to resize this, it's going to all resize at the same time, instead of, like, you know, the box resizing, but the lines didn't follow, and then you've got to go in and resize all the lines. So that's one thing that I really like about that too. So the group feature I use a lot too in there. And then, and this is where it's nice with the color, because if we the color, oh, there we go. If you go to the background here, so if I wanted to change the color, and then you have to watch at the bottom left of my screen. So say I'm going to just pick on this one. And then at the bottom here, it says change all. So if I were to click this, everything that is that light shade of pink is going to turn to that bronzy color. So that's something that I like about that too. So I just wanted to show you that one as well. So Brenda's asking, oh, can you make them to be digital, so where you have name and bring in, I'm not sure. So do you mean like a fillable version? Is that what you mean? Or did you want more? Yeah. So fillable, okay, so there's two ways to do that. You could sell your product as a Canva template, and then people would like come in and fill this in and then print it off. But the way that I do it, like, let me just see if I can find, I can't remember where I had it. Because the way I do it is I will make my product like this and then save it as a PDF. Then I have Wondershare. It's similar to Adobe. Just see, let's see up here. Okay, so I just have, this is Wondershare, so it's similar to Adobe. So what you have to do is you create forms. So you take your PDF, then you click on the forms, and then what you do is you put a text box in that form. It's blue. Yeah, I can't really show it in here unless I could find my one. And then that blue field becomes fillable. I don't think I have the one I'm thinking of in here. Okay, let me just, okay, let me see if I can find it quickly. Too many things open. Oh. Okay, let me just go to my Etsy store. Where did I put it? Oh, maybe I did one. Can't remember if I made this one. Okay. No, if you have any other questions, let me know. Let me just see if I can find, because I wanted to show it to you, but now it's where I put everything. But anyway, you'll see those documents that have the blue lines, and if that's what you mean, then somebody opens it in Adobe Reader, and then they can just type straight into that document. It might be in this one. Here we go. This is one that I wanted to show you. So this is what it is. So I made this, I believe I made it in Canva. So I made all this in Canva.
So here, the screen hasn't changed. We're still looking at the Valentine's Day sign-up sheet.
Let me just stop that sharing. I'll reshare. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Okay, there. Does that change now?
Yes, baby shower.
Yeah, the baby shower. So this is one that I did. So I created this. You can do this in Canva, or you can do it in PowerPoint, and then you save it as a PDF. But you do need a version of Adobe Reader, or this is Wondershare. They're both paid. I think there are some free ones. I can't remember what PDF something it's called. I believe that will do it to an extent, but because I do it quite a lot, I have the paid version of Wondershare is one that I use. So then, so you'll have this, and then you will come in and just draw in these lines. Let's see if I can. Okay, I just move out of the way. Yeah. So if I come up to form, now you can see, so everything there that's got that black text on is something that I created as a fillable text field. So you can kind of look at the properties, and this is what you would fill out too. So you can set the font size if you want. I just kind of do it to auto. So what that means is as somebody types in, the text is going to change depending on how much text there is. So if they put a lot of text in, it's going to shrink it down. But you can set it at different there's font sizes here too. And then the options. Yeah, you do multi-line and scroll on text, check spelling, and then you can set the alignment as well. And basically, yeah, these ones I don't use. So it's just mainly the main ones here I use. But that's how you create all of this. And then once you're doing this, like you can align all these text boxes. You kind of like what I do is I draw one. So I would draw the name one, and then it says here, create multiple copies of that field. So then so for that one table, I needed 5. So then I create the 5 tabs, and then you can come in. This would be highlighted where it says alignment and distribute. They will be highlighted, and then you can move it. It helps to move and line things up a little bit easier and makes it faster, because to do this one by one, and this is only, I did two pages here. It's time consuming. So you can imagine trying to do this for like a 50-page report. It would take a long time to do it. But this is the one that actually I just sold this yesterday in my Etsy store. So people do buy them because they do like to just be able to fill it out online. But I mean, that's the basics. I mean, it can do a lot more. Like you can do like financial sheets and put formulas in there. I stayed away from that. I just kind of do the text fields. And then we come back to the home. So this is what the customer would get. They would open it. And these ones, even from here, they'll work in Adobe Reader. So they only need the free version. And then they can just come in, and as they click here, it disappears, and they can type in the, all the information that they need. And what's nice about this is I've set it up. So even if they don't use all of the fields in here, when they print it, they're just going to print as black lines. This blue will not print at all. I just have a couple questions. Okay, so do I have to send emails to my Etsy store? No, the nice thing, and this is one of the reasons why I've kind of just put my personal use store on Etsy, is because they have traffic for you. I mean, the downside to Etsy is it's third party, which means you don't own your site, you don't own your store. And they could shut you down if you violate any of their conditions or terms, or, you know, you'll get a warning. And sometimes people have found that they just shut the store down. They have a little issue going on right now where some people, even when they open the store, they pay the fee. The next day they're shut down. But I think that gets rectified. It's just something because they have to check your banking and you verify your ID, make sure that you're not using a VPN. And that you are who you are. So that's like the downside of Etsy. And the other thing with Etsy is you can never sell your Etsy store. If you pass away and you have the store that does, you know, $10,000 a month, it's gone. You can't even pass it on to your family, like nothing. So you can never sell an Etsy store. But the upside is they have the built-in traffic. So you list it, and this is where you have to learn about the SEO and the keyword tags. And, you know, write a nice description of telling people what's in there. This is where those 10 mock-ups come into play, because you want to have a good thumbnail. The thumbnail is the very first image that's on your listing. So you want to make that has to be what gets people's attention to come in and click. And then you have the other images. But once you get that right, then you'll get found. Like I use something called Insight Factory. And that helps me find the tags. And you can also use eRank. eRank is cheaper. They have a free version, but their first level up, I believe it's $5.99 US a month. And it gives you like 100 searches a day, which I've never used. I've never come close to it. So that's a good way to start finding like the tags and everything for your store. And now I'm finding when I released this one, I was able to get onto the front page. Like when people punch in potluck sign-up forms, then mine is usually in that first page, and that gives you a better chance of being found. So they do have the marketplace, and the thing that I'm seeing with Etsy is that you need to be consistent on there. So you don't want to go and load up like 5 products and then don't touch it for 3 months, because they can tell every time you log in, even if you go in and update a listing, even if you go in and, you know, you have like a store description in there, if you go and just update that, you know, even just change it a couple of words around, they notice that you're working on your store and they'll give you more promotions. I noticed yesterday in Etsy will also send out emails. And yesterday, when it was something about, I think it was games, or anyway, it was something about printables, and I clicked through it and I saw some of mine in their little email. So that's how you get exposure to. So that's, you know, because if you don't have Etsy, if you're trying to do this from your own website, then you've got to find the traffic, and finding the traffic, you know, that's a hard part too. Like that's where the bundles can come in to help build an email list, so you have an audience. Otherwise, you've got to do like Instagram marketing or Pinterest. And again, it's fine if you have the time for all that, but if you don't, then, you know, that's why sometimes it's just easier to start on Etsy because it has its built-in traffic. So, you know, and it's not that you have to stay on Etsy. I mean, if you find your Etsy store is doing good, then that's when you could decide, you know what, I'm going to put this on my website too, and have a Shopify store or WooCommerce, or use one of these other platforms, so that if anything did happen to your Etsy store, you still have everything set up to sell. And hopefully from Etsy, you've gotten some people on your email list, so you still have that audience as well. So hopefully that helped. But these fillable forms, they do sell really well. And I just try and limit it to like something like this, something that's easy to do. Like for kids too, you could make, like for teachers, I'm just trying to think how we would do it. You can make even like a write-in sheet or something, even if the teacher just wanted to be able to populate the date on the top. You can put in a field, and I believe if you just keep the field as name, because you'll notice here I've got name, name 1, name 2. Now, if we kept all of this field as the word name, when the teacher put in something here, even if she wanted to put the date, so if she were to type in, you know, January 22nd, then, and she's got 20 pages, it's going to automatically populate on all 20 pages. So that's something that we could do for teachers to make that easier, instead of like every page you have to go type in, or if she wanted to put in the subject or the class name or a theme name, you could have a field and that would automatically populate on every single page in that document. So even though the rest isn't fillable, just the title is, that just it's a time-saving thing for teachers too. So there's things that you can do like that. Just trying to think of the free, if it's PDF Element, or there's some of them, some don't work as well, but if you just want to do basics, yeah, I think it's PDF Element that might be the free one. I'm not sure. But there are you can look up online. There are some free ones. Some will give you limits that you can only do so many pages or use it only so many times a day as well. But yeah, so that's something that you can, there's a different type of product you can do as well. Foxit PDF. Yeah, there's a few of them you have to look, because I know some have limitations. And some don't, but that's the way you can at least give you a starting point if you want to test it out. Because these are fun, but like I said, it can get very time intensive. If you do more than 1 or 2 pages, just it takes, because you have to get lined up and then you have to copy the text. So to do something like this is a lot easier because it's just the lines, but still every line you have to put in the text box. So I mean, but they do sell, so that's one thing to keep in mind, that this is a popular option. You can do the same type of thing in Canva. Again, you could just like put in your background in Canva, and then save it as an image and then put it back into Canva, so nobody can edit the images. And then you just put the text on top that can be edited. So that's a way to do it in Canva. Then you're selling the Canva template. And so people have to just, they get, forced to make a copy, and then that's their copy. So that's another way to do it. But I think this way, I find it easier this way. I have done some in Canva, and it depends in Canva what you're allowing them to change. So if you had, so if they could, like if these were my images and not clip art from somebody, I could even, in Canva, I could just leave them as is. Or if these were free ones, then you can even say, you can change the clip art, you can change this, you can change that. So this particular template, I did create it in Canva, but I made it as a fillable form, because again, I did my research on Etsy, and these particular forms, people are more familiar right now with the Adobe fill-in type of form, but the Canva templates are becoming more popular. If you do sell a Canva template, I would say on your Etsy listing, just tell them that this is done in Canva, and it helps to have a working knowledge of Canva before they buy it, so they don't get it and then they have no idea how to edit it in Canva. Or you can go in and you can create a quick video with this particular template and say, this is how you can change this in Canva. I actually just kind of made a tip sheet that I put into the Canva documents on the ones I've done. And I just kind of put some little guidelines. This is how to change fonts. This is how to change colors. And then I tell them only this part can be changed. You cannot change the clip art. You cannot change, the font or anything. So that's something that you can do too. You just have to make sure you give really good instructions if you're doing the Canva one. And again, in the listing in Etsy, I put down this, you need a working knowledge of Canva for this to work. If you have any questions, email me before you buy, because you don't want people buying and then they give you, like no review or a low review because they didn't understand Canva. And it doesn't even, if they open a Canva document and they don't have an account, Canva automatically makes one for them. So they don't even have to say, I don't have an account. It does it for them anyway. Okay, I'll just stop the share there. Okay, so hopefully that helped. And then something I haven't looked into this, but on TPT, there's something called easel, which I'm not sure what it is, but it's somehow that it makes your PDF interactive. So just a heads up, that could be somewhere to look into if you're going to sell on Teachers Pay Teachers as well. Yeah, so if you already have a Teachers Pay Teachers, it depends if you have like the customer account or a seller's account, but I would go in and see if it allows you to open up the store, because then that's going to save you that $29 fee. And the yearly thing is only if you want to get a higher commission. I can't remember the difference, but it's a good difference. Like, it's worth it if you start, selling. And like I said, I think once I started on my like third or fourth product, I'm thinking, okay, I know I can make more money here. So I paid the $59 and I got the money back. Like, I think it was 4 to 5 months at the most. But again, I haven't been putting things on as regularly as I should, because I've had my other store to work on as well. So, I mean, that's why I say, if you do pay that $59 to get the higher commission, just make sure that you can load up with, try and get, even if it's just 2 products a week in there. And then one other tip to do is on there is when you're searching on the TPT, if you go up to the search bar and then, whatever you have in mind, so say it's something for Valentine's or winter, like type in the winter, and then you'll see it auto populate with some other terms. I always try and use something that comes up in there because it means it's being searched for. So if you're making something that people are searching for, obviously it's more likely to sell. Not to say it will sell, but you have a better chance at selling. And that changes every day. Every couple of days you'll go in there. Like recently it was the Martin Luther King stuff. And then, now I think they're starting to people are searching for Valentine's Day. So you can see, or St. Patrick's Day. That will help you give you an idea of what to create and the keywords that you want to use, so that, if you when you launch a product, what I like to do is wait a couple of days. I go back in to Teachers Pay Teachers and just put in those keywords, and I like to see, am I on the first page, or am I on, or am I nowhere in sight? Then I know, okay, maybe I can go in and change my title or add some keywords in the description to try and get found as well. Yeah, so I would check, because if you have an account, maybe you could still open a store from that account without having to pay. So that would be a big help for sure. Yes, I will. Yes, I'm recording this. I'll post it on YouTube, and then I'll give you the link for it so you can have it again afterwards. Okay, so was there any other questions? And my big advice, just get going, create products, because you can always go back and fine tune things later as you get better, whether it's designing or it's mock-ups or SEO. You can go back and change things on both TPT and Etsy. And then on both, because I usually like, even for personal use stuff, I put like either a download page or a license page in there. And then on that page, you can, if you're using the MailerLite with that sign up form, you can put that in there to try and get the people from Etsy onto a list, because you can't get them there otherwise. And the same as TPT, excuse me. If you have something like another freebie that's on your website to get them into a mailing list, that's going to help you build a list of people, so that you have another audience as well. Honestly, for either way, for either store, Etsy or TPT, you only need one. You need one to open both. So I have one ready. Etsy, what I did actually, I just put a placeholder image, like product in there, and yes, you're paying the 20 cents, but if you use my link in my email, you'll get 40 listings for free. It's always at the bottom of my emails that I send out. So that way you're not spending anything at all. So you can start your Etsy store. So before you even go in to set the store up, make sure you have a product ready. It doesn't have to be big, a one-page thing, just so that you can list a product. You can always take it down again. And the same as TPT, the first one has to be free. So just do something that you're happy to give away for free. And then just keep on putting them in there. So if you have, so the easiest way might be to say, for example, if you want to do Write the Room or even an I Spy game or word Scrabble games or just writing paper, have a few ideas for that in mind so that you can just go in and create one, list it the next day or 2 days later, you can list another one so you can start getting some products in there. But I wouldn't wait. I mean, I know people that say I have to have 30 ready before I go. So I wouldn't do that. Just post it, get it out there, because once you get it out there too, you're more likely to say, oh, okay, I want to put another one up and I want to put another one up. And then you'll find ways to make it easier. Like now I've got my templates pretty much how I want them. So that part is going faster. And again, if you like you said, the Write the Rooms are fun. So if you do some of those, that description can basically almost stay the same for each one. You just kind of change out some of the words, some of the topic, obviously. So you can, and then what's nice is you can it's called Make a Similar Item on TPT. So it makes like a copy of, say, a Write the Room. So you're making a new version, then you go in and upload your files, images. So again, it saves you time. And then, it's already got your tags in there. It's got the classroom levels and all that stuff in there just to copy it over and do it again. But I would just get going at it. That is really what I could suggest. Yeah, and the kindergarten stuff does sell well. Even if you're into classroom decor, that sells really well. Banners, yeah, even the posters, the number posters, the count alphabet posters, all that kind of stuff is really easy. It's easy to make, but it sells quite well. For myself, I'm finding my my writing paper selling. So again, I have a basic template with just the different styles, and then I just go in and either put the image as a background or in a corner, and just like for yesterday, I think I did an Arctic animal one. Today I was going to do a Valentine's one, and they sell quite well, as does bingo. Like if you have a bingo creator, I have the one for PowerPoint, and I just upload my clip art and it's tell it how many cards I want to make, and it does it for me. And now I've got a template for that too, so I can create bingo games. It takes me longer to find like the clip art than it does to actually produce the template with the it's an add-on for PowerPoint. And that's how I make the bingo games. And you can do 3x3, 5x5, 7x7, and you can do different sizes. So they're a good seller too. So if you have anything else, if not, we will.
It's been, yeah, very helpful. Great ideas. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. As long as you got some good ideas, that's good then. Yeah, and if you do the mailer light, and if you have any questions about the mailer light, you can just let me know, and I'm happy to help out. But yeah, I mean, I just like
thank
the
you.
idea. Yeah, if you can start selling with MailerLite. I mean, ConvertKit, Kit, you can do the same there, but that's more expensive. If you want looking for free versions, then I would go with MailerLite and just use that Stripe integration to just to sell some products or get into bundles as well.
Thank you for that offer. I will purchase it through your affiliate link, and then I'll feel like I can ask you. So
ask me anytime, Nancy, that's fine. Okay, so Brenda, did you have any other questions, or are you good to go? Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll get this processed, and once it's uploaded, I'll send out the link and then you can watch it again. Let me just stop the recording.